Welcome to Seek the Greatness, a channel that's all about applied self-investment. Today I'm here with Asha the copywriter from Woke Copy. What's up, Asha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? How you doing?
Doing well, I'm doing well. So thanks for joining me on this collab video. Today we're just going to talk about how to get clients, how we go about into getting clients, and the importance of aligning yourself with the right client. And then secondly, we want to talk about the importance of collab. You know, if you're a starting copywriter that's just trying to get out from the ground up, these are the best things. These are the two best things that you can do. It's like figuring out your best client, figuring out your niche, and then figuring out who you can reach out to and align yourself with. So this is why me and Asha are doing this video today. And this is what we want to like talk about and see what beginner copywriters can learn from this. So Asha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how are the clients treating you right now? How is everything going in terms of?
Everything's good. I mean, if we're speaking in terms of like, because I just listening to the intro, I want to say that when you're starting out, as a copywriter, getting those first few clients, it can be hard, but there are ways to go about it. So something that I would suggest is not being afraid to work like on a trial basis, right? Because it's like the catch-22, right? It's like you need experience to like get clients, but then you need clients to get experience, right? It's it's that thing. So when you're starting out, it's important to be willing to offer your services. Now, I value my time, and my services, and we all should. So it's not something that you want to do forever, but when you're like starting at ground zero, it's something that I've done, and depending on who the client is, how much, I like them, I really want to help. It's something that I'm still open to, because the power of testimonials is really strong. So when you're just starting and you're reaching out to potential clients, but you don't have any proof or history of that what you do works or that you're good at what you do, especially for small businesses, if you can, tell them like, hey, whatever your niche is, right? Like, hey, I'll write your emails for a month, or I can do your website copy, or whatever it is. And you're saying, I'm just looking for a strong testimonial. So in exchange, for my work is, if you can, give me a strong testimonial, that's usually a good way to start. And you should find a lot of success with that.
Yeah, definitely. Like you don't have to, that doesn't mean like you have to work for free. Either when you're writing copy for them, that has to be some type of value that you're getting from it. Like I said, so if it's the testimonial, if it's them like putting your work on their website or referring you to another client, that was always a good thing. Yeah, I strongly believe that you don't have to like, oh, just because I'm starting now, let me just offer you my service and then like you don't have to pay me, but still make sure that you always get something from value from that other client. If they're a bigger client, if that's someone that has a lot of high positioning and they're not paying you, but they're giving you some type of testimonial, or they're putting your work on their website, or they're referring you to another client, that's always great. But, if they're also like kind of a small time client, they're like either also in the same boat you are, like zero from like 40, it's kind of sad. Then I'd rather like make them pay, but just not like too much, because, if they say, oh, I'll give you experience, but it's like, you also, you're also kind of the same level at I am. You don't have that much clout or position.
Well, it's like that thin line, right? It's like you definitely need to value your work, because if you don't, then clients won't.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, I don't know what this, like the law is, but like, it's like this, like sort of like psychological law, right? When you see something with a really high price, a high ticket, you're like, oh, that must be really good, because look how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Right. Like, when in terms of like goods and services. And so if you like take, that thinking and apply it to yourself as a freelance writer, it's like if you're like, oh, I'll work for $0, and it's like, okay, wait, you might not be that good, but you made a good point about there needs to be some sort of value for you. So even if you're not going to get paid with cash, check, or like some sort of, wire transfer or something.
Yeah, you got to give me something.
make it clear, like, okay, no, you are paying me. So the understanding is like, no, I'm not just doing this for free. I'm getting something out of it, and make that clear. Like I'll do this for this amount of time or X amount of emails or whatever in exchange for this. This is the value that I'm getting from it. And then you only have to do that a couple times, because once you have a couple of these testimonials, right? Like, and all it takes is a little bit. I know when I started my copywriting coaching program, when I would close, right, on people to try to sign them up to, it's like, hey, I'm gonna teach you copy, right?
Yeah.
I kept running into objections of like, well, where's proof, or how do I know this works? And I literally have like 2 testimonials. One is a video, a guy being like, yeah, Asha's cool. He's really helping me understand, how to, earn in my niche and get more clients. And then another one being like, Asha's great. The teaching is clear, it's structured, but just 2, one email and one video. And like, that's all it takes. And all of a sudden people see that, they're like, oh man, okay, this is great. Like, sign me up. That's the reaction. So it doesn't take a lot.
Yes, social proof is definitely a strong catalyst. Because I also, with my online course, I also have 3 testimonials too, and it's also given my product a lot of clout. So yeah, I can definitely attest to that. But so now that after you you get your testimonials, you get a couple of testimonials, and then you're finding the clients, that gets you closer to the dream client you're looking for. Basically, who is your ideal client, and then who are you trying to align with once you get your testimonials? Who are you going for?
And well, in terms of the alignment, right? Kind of like reaching out to you, the stage I'm in right now, I want to align with, other copywriters and marketers, right? I want to align with businesses that understand the value of marketing and copywriting, because there are a lot of people, I'm sure you still run into this, who have no idea what copywriting is.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who still think it's like a trademark.
Yeah, they always spell it with the R. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Oh, like you're a copywriter? Do you trademark logos? I'm like, no. So for me, it's really important, and it saves you a headache.
Yeah.
When going into a situation with the client or someone if you're collaborating with someone in your field, then they obviously know. But in terms of that ideal client, definitely someone established, right? Someone who can pay, right? That's one. And then two, a business or entrepreneur, again, that understands the value in what you do. Because if you have to convince someone, there's a good chance that it's not going to work out, or they're going to lowball you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just my goal is to stay connected with other copywriters like yourself, right? Because we learn from each other. We can get feedback from each other, help each other grow, collaboration projects like this. And then when it comes to client acquisition, for sure, people who already get it, right? Because part of my job isn't to convince you, it's to help you.
Yeah, that's a very, very strong point. That's another thing about aligning yourself. You want to, if you do have to explain to someone your value or what copywriting is, or they don't understand how copy can be the lifeblood of getting someone to act, because then that's a struggle, because copy touches everything. Even if it's not direct sales or anything like that, it's basically mostly content that is designed to drive someone to act. So if you don't communicate how you're going to solve this person's problem, how you're going to get them from point A to point B, then you're going to struggle with your business. So it's good that you try and find people who know the value of copy. And I think that's great advice for any beginner copywriters. If you start writing copy, it's definitely, you want to show the value of hey, this is what my work does. This is what my samples does. This is how it's helped with the testimonials added to that. This is how it's helped people make money. This is where it's got them to. So yeah,
absolutely. And it's if you're working with smaller businesses or solopreneurs, like a lot of times they just don't know. And so like, but if you see potential there, I guess I want to kind of retrace my steps a little bit. If you see potential in like a business, or an entrepreneur, someone you want to work with, that doesn't mean completely give up on them if they don't know, right? It's
Hmm.
just like a fine line. Like you don't want to be like begging and trying to convince somebody, but if you see potential and they just need a little bit of help filling in the gap of that understanding,
Yeah.
then I think a situation like that would be worth it. You know what I mean? It's just those people that kind of may seem like they don't know or don't care. Like you don't want it to be pulling teeth, but like if you see potential in someone, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, okay, well, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I can help you, right? And if you can kind
Yeah.
of like explain that in that sense, and then they get it, okay, then that's great.
Yeah, well, that's true, because that also comes back to like my story today. Like I went out and I reached out to this like small business owner, because she sells, her name's Crystal, and she sells like health products, well, health and wellness products. And I like her business because, I like I I pride myself on skincare and making sure
Yeah,
that I'm all moisturized and all that stuff like that. So I love her business. I love her shop. I always go over there to buy all my soaps, my like, I know my skincare stuff. And then she didn't know what copywriting was. So I told her like, hey, I'm a copywriter, and like, I saw your website and I thought I could like, just write some copy for you, like a landing page for you. And so I gave her my business card, and I was also giving her like, hey, have you thought like other like business models? Have you thought about like creating subscription models for your products and stuff like that? And she was like, I'm not trying to do that. But either way, I was able to say like, give me your business card. Here's mine, and I would like to write some spec work from you. And if you like it, then maybe I can work on your Google Analytics, and then I can also write copy for your website. So those are the services I'm offering, even though she didn't know. But because like I strongly believe in her product, and I like the fact that everything she does is all organic, simple ingredients. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm about that. So like, let's work together. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
mean, that brings up a point that we were kind of speaking to earlier, is when you align with the product or service, or you like your client,
mhm.
that makes it makes for a much more positive relationship. You know,
Yeah, and I
you
also
want
get,
people to be burned out, right? Because like you actually care.
yeah, I actually do care, and like I just want to see this person win, because it's like, yes, you finally, like, this is a small business that's in my area, local, like Black business owned. Like everyone should be supporting this. This is someone that's really
Yeah,
working hard. So like, I just respect everything about this person, like even them as a person, like their confidence and the fact that they've been doing this for like less than 5 years, but they have such a great product. It's just like, yeah, you're cool, and I want to get back. You're like, it's kind of the underdog. You're always rooting for the underdog. So that's a strong value of mine. And the fact that she shows that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely all for it.
yeah. You and I are like weirdly paralleled, I think, in a lot of things that we're doing. Because there's like two local Black-owned businesses in my
Hmm.
neighborhood that I go to all the time. And it kind of dawned on me, like, I do like most of my business and my work is like online, so online outreach. I've really never done like in-person outreach, but like I go into this cafe and this restaurant all the time. And so sort of similar to what you did with the skincare business owner, I'm sort of just reaching out to these two places as well. One, you already have a rapport there. So like another tip for any beginners, like someone told this to me and it makes sense. You want to avoid going cold whenever
Hmm.
possible. I mean, we all have to do some cold outreach at some point, and you should. But
Hmm.
if you have any kind of connection, whether someone can refer you, whether it's a friend, whether an old coworker, anything, any kind of connection link that can like break some ice and like break a barrier, go with it. So if there are any businesses that you frequent all the time and the people know you because you're in there every other day, right? You can like, hey, what's up to the owners, or even like the staff, right? Because even the staff, if you have a good relationship with them, they can introduce you to the gatekeeper, right, which is the
Hmm.
owner of the business. So, always be thinking about those ways that you can kind of get in with
Hmm.
less resistance, like
Yeah.
it's least layers.
Exactly, because when you're going into the store and you're frequenting and buying her products, and she sees you like coming every month or every now and then, she's like, yeah, she knows your face, so it creates that familiarity. So eventually, when I walked over again, I'm like, hey, like I saw your website, here are all these ideas. I asked her for a business card, and I asked her like, what do you think about subscription models, like, because Eric says, I mean, it's all organic and all, but it's like, it's expensive, but it's just like, yeah, this is why it's expensive, because these are people who are putting their like putting a lot of time into finding all these organic and non like processed or organic. So she's like she was like, I would never like do a subscription model or like, or discount just because you did just because you subscribed, I would do like discount the prices. She was like, these are the prices and that's what you got to pay for. And I was like, you know what?
Right.
I understand that. I can get behind that. But I was just thinking, man, that would be great. Because she thought that whole model of subscription was just like, it's just tailored to the online. It's mostly for e-commerce and stuff like that. So she was like, yeah, it sounds corporate, or it sounds like that's not what my culture is. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely get behind that. But then,
Respect that for sure.
yeah, she was like, I respect that. But she was like, yeah, we do need a lot of content. Like, we just have our website. It just has this one thing, this one page, and it shows people like what the products are and like where they can find us. But, we do want to start a blog, and we do want to like put more content on social media. So now that even gave me some clarity to what they needed. So once I bought their products, I was going to like put up an Instagram post like, hey, I take care of my skin. This is why it's really important. And then I talk about the problems I have, or why it's really important for me to take care of my skin and like have a whole like regimen. And then I present the solution, or I present the business that's helping me with my skin regimen, and put it on Instagram, and hopefully that would give them some
So
clout.
you're hitting him with like a PAS on your
Yeah.
Instagram post.
Yeah.
Problem agitation. Yeah.
And so, and that's what I've enjoyed about reaching out to this client, because now I have some clarity. I have like, oh, here's the content that I can write for this client. So yeah, definitely doing some warm like outreach it's really important. And that's one thing I would recommend to every like business copywriter. Like, do find a client that you can reach out to, and if you align with them, and if you enjoy their product and you believe in them, like, yeah, like show some love and do some spec work already. Like, just show them like, hey, this is what I did. If you can use it, let me know how it works for you. you know
Yep. Exactly.
yeah. So moving on now, like we talked about the importance of like reaching out to clients, making sure that you align with them. Another thing that beginner copywriters can do, the second thing that we want to talk about is collaborations. If you're starting out with if you're a copywriter, then you need to align yourself with copywriters. If I'm like a copywriter slash YouTuber, so it's important for me to align my people in the online marketing space with copywriters, and then with YouTubers. So like I join all these groups, and this is why we're here also doing this collab, and it just returns, and it will just like help you get your positioning up, so because that's the only way you can improve,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's just like, if LeBron is the best basketball players because he's playing with other basketball players. You're only rich. They say you're the average, the people that you spend your time with. So if you're not like learning from the best copywriters, if you're not chilling, or you know creating this environment of like, this is what I do, this is who I chill with, this is who I'm spending my time with, you're not gonna improve. I'm telling you right now, you
Yeah.
will fail, in whatever that you're doing.
Well, as I say, you want to reach out to others, because I mean, really to learn from each other, right? And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you reach out to someone you guys are kind of at the same level, it's like you're dealing with the same issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the same struggles, and maybe what I've figured out you didn't figure out yet, and so I can help
Mm-hmm.
you along the way. Next thing, maybe you figured something out, whether it be for copywriting or like, let's say YouTube, that I haven't figured out yet, right? And so you just help each other, right? Like you were saying earlier, exchanging services, just giving each other feedback, right? Sharing what works for you, right? Versus like when you're going at it alone, you're trying to figure out all these things
Mm-hmm.
on your own. And like you certainly can, but like it's just way easier if you have like a
Yeah.
community or even like a couple go-to people that you can, even just for ideas, like, oh, I have this idea, and being able to bounce the idea off someone who's in your industry, so who gets it, versus like a random friend who's like, wait, what's this for? What are you talking about? Like, there's just too much work, you know what I mean? But if you're already networking and building relationships with people that either are on the same journey as you, or even better, where you want to go, sort of like a mentorship,
Mm-hmm.
right? It just helps you get there faster. It's about working smarter, not harder, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. Like all of that is important. Like I mean, we're all, in a sense, we're all solopreneurs, but again, if you're not, you know, exchanging services, tips, or like ideas that you can share with other people or learn from other people, if you're just going at it alone and trying to figure it out on your own, it's just alienating. It's like, it can be lonely. So I'm really glad that you reached out to me, and the fact that we are also like, we feel like we're at the same level, and we're also like at the same level, and we're trying to like create this growth. Just like that is the importance of collaboration. So like, it's definitely a good feeling, you know?
I have like there are two reasons why I collab. So one, short term, right?
Hmm.
Short term game, because I'm collabing with other copywriters, other creators, right?
Hmm.
Like you're gonna put this, like on your YouTube channel or wherever you put it,
Yeah.
and that's exposure for me, short term. Other
Hmm.
people that I've reached out to, like on Instagram, who is actually this copywriter from Canada, who she's got like a few thousand, I think, followers, and I just connected just by engaging on her post, and just by engaging on her post and giving insightful feedback, she reached out to me for a collab for later in July. Now this is
Nice.
someone who, like, again, is way above me in terms of you know income, following, right? Client,
Yeah.
all that, right? But now I'm gonna be on her podcast, right? So just short term game, how many more eyes is that gonna be on what I do,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, and that's one reason for you can literally grow your following through collaborating, and then long term you build relationships. So as the people that you aligned with move up, I mean, that's an instant referral from, like, if it's something that they don't do, but oh, I know Kwaku does it, so like I'm gonna slide this job or
Yeah.
client or whatever over to him. So
Hmm.
it's like short game, benefits of it, and certainly long term growth
Yeah.
benefits of collaborating.
Yeah. Cool. And then what else can they, and then apart from short term, what else do they gain from like collaborating? Because you said it was like short term. The second one was.
Well, yeah. So the short term is like literally just eyeballs on what you do, right?
Mhm.
So if it's like if you post this and then it has my on Instagram, it's like whoever's aligned with you, who they don't know me, now they know me. So
Yeah.
I can, even if we're talking, let's just to be, for an example, speak specific to Instagram, right? However many people see your YouTube, I'm sure they have an Instagram account. And even if only a percentage of them, take action because they maybe find value in what we've put together, or what they take a look and they find value in I put together, that's growth that wouldn't have happened had I not reached out to you, had we not collaborated. And
Yeah.
then the long term is really, it's like building those relationships over time, to just
Hmm.
where you stay top of mind of this group of people that you've aligned yourself with, and as they grow and succeed, it's not like you're being carried by them, but it's like you take each other with you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like this, right? So long term, as because success is not like just this straight line, the straight diagonal line. It's like this, like, kind of gradual curve,
Yeah.
right? But like the long term benefits of continuing to collaborate with people from your past that you've worked with and continue to work with them and continuing to reach out to new people and just build your network. And that one saying, like your net worth is your network. I don't know if you've ever
Yes.
heard that.
Yeah, I've
Just
definitely heard that.
yeah,
There is a Bible, like for all entrepreneurs, there's always that, all those like cliches. I mean, but
cliche quote,
time-tested cliches for the entrepreneurs, but that's facts.
but they're true.
Yeah, they're
So
true. They're true. That's
think
what I'm
about
saying. Like you
cliches,
got,
they're
it's your
usually
Bible.
yeah.
Yeah. So what are some really important things that you want, like future, like let's come back to clients, like going back to clients. We've talked about collaboration, but now I want to come back to the subject of clients. What are the like top things that you want your clients to know about you, or like from working with you, and like what they can expect, and because this comes back to the question of alignment. So how do you qualify your clients, and what do they need to know about you?
Well, I don't exactly remember if I stated this, but for me, it's really important to work with people who sort of have this understanding of what it is I do.
Hmm.
And like, again, like I don't mind filling that gap a little bit, but it's I want to spend my energy on like helping them reach their goals,
Hmm.
right? And not like have to exert it on trying to show them like how I can do that. So what's important for me is one to work with people that kind of get it. And then when I am working with clients, it's like depending on what you want, right? Like there's a process. And so it's important for me to work with people who understand also the process that goes into doing the work, which for me always starts with a lot of research if you're going to be doing any kind of copywriting. And so I also like to work with clients who get that and understand and are willing to take the time, to either like answer maybe a list of questions that I need to know that will inform my work, right?
Hmm.
Versus being like, oh, I got to answer these questionnaires about my business. Like, no, if you want to increase your revenue by X amount of dollars, if you want to get X amount more customers a month into your restaurant or whatever, like there's some information that I'm going to need from you. So really willing, like willing clients who understand the process and like genuinely want to go through it because they know what's on the other side,
Hmm.
versus a little reluctance because they're too busy or whatever it is. So clients who can also take, speaking of collaboration, not to take it back there, but I like to have that feel like I'm actually collaborating with my client versus like, oh, hey, do all this stuff for me and that's it. You know what I mean? Like literally work with me, like help me help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So,
How's that for you though, with in terms of clients that you work with?
well, that's the thing about me. I haven't really been reaching out to clients because my whole thing was like I already have a product. So I created a product. I created an online course, that centers around personal finance, and I'm also working on my YouTube channel. So I've been going on the side of like content marketing and then using copy to promote my online course. So because
Yes.
I figured that like I was like I don't like to like pursue clients unless I want to like work with them or work or do some work for them for like that business owner. I was thinking, wow, I always come to her store. I'm always buying her stuff. And I looked at her website and I was just like, hey, can I help? This is the spec work that I want to like create for you. And that's the only, so those are like my two categories. Like I reach out to clients if I find that like, yes, I desperately want to write this landing page for you because like I think I can help you. I think I can provide value. So that's the only I've had like two other clients, but again, it was sort of just like, yeah, I'll jump in because you like reached out to me. But this was the
Gotcha.
first client was where I felt like, yes, I'm enjoying this and it doesn't feel like a pull. Like, I'm already
Gotcha.
excited thinking about what I can write for the landing page and what I can write for their Instagram posts, their social media. So that's what I'm doing. So that's like what's really important to me. It's like, first, I want to work from my product. I want to like write copy for my own products, for my own services. Like, you know, so it's my YouTube channel, video editing, and then like copy for my online course, the Hammer and Chisel Finance Program, and then
Nice.
following that is a client outreach, and I only do that if I know that I can provide some value or service, and if I really value your potential or just like your business as a client.
Well, that's actually important for me too. So I'm glad you mentioned it. The qualification process, and I haven't like discovered like a standard one way to qualify potential clients, or like even and to your point of like having your own product. Right now, mine is coaching as well. So that's what I'm doing more often than like going out and try to getting writing, you know, gigs for clients. But so my qualification process, it isn't standard, but because I just have a conversation. But one of the things that's important, like through that qualification process, is like, can I help you? Can I actually help you? Right? Because you never want to get into a situation where you can't actually follow through with what you promised or with your work. So again, for anyone new to copywriting or anything like that, like definitely make sure you can deliver on your promise to the person, right? Like you don't want to get a bad reputation, and you want to have success, right? So when I'm looking for coaching clients, right, and I'm going out and I'm doing outreach online, I build a rapport and start a conversation, build a rapport. But before moving into anything of like, okay, well, this is what I can do for you, and I sort of ask questions to make sure to see where they are in their journey. You know, if they're just getting started, or if they've been doing it for years. If they've been doing it for years, like longer than me, then chances are you don't need me to teach you beginning copywriting, right? So yeah, qualifying your clients for whatever it is you're doing first is definitely important. Like you need to know that you can help them. And once you know that, then you can start being like, well, bam, I'm going to boost your revenue. I'm going to help you make 4K. Like then you can start hitting them with those promises, right, to close the deal. Once you know you've qualified them, you're like, oh, I got this. Like I can do this landing page, no problem.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So, and then coming back to your product, in terms of coaching like beginner copywriters, how like long have you been doing that, and how many like, you know, people are you getting through, and then like what can people expect from your copywriter coaching service?
Okay. So this sort of like I guess you could say my coaching program is in like its beta form. I just started it a couple months ago. Right now I'm working with 4 people total. And it's funny going back. It always goes back to like networking collaborations. 2 of the people that I'm working with are just people that I would see like when I'm putting out content on Instagram, you know, and this actually goes back to my point in trying to not go cold, right, whenever possible. Someone told me that sometimes your best clients are like hiding right in plain sight, right under your nose, and you don't even know it.
Exactly.
So I was like reaching out to people cold, trying to, you know, get these clients in exchange, you know, for strong testimonials, because it's like the beta, you know, version of my program. And then one day it kind of hit me. I was like, you know what? This person has been commenting on every single one of my posts, telling me like how much they're learning, asking me more questions. So I'm in my comments, like literally giving them full paragraph answers to their questions. And so I say, you know, this is the perfect person to reach out to. And it's a woman. She's an entrepreneur. Her name is Lisa. She has her own like magazine in Beijing. Black woman, Black entrepreneur, but is living and working in Beijing.
Nice.
And I reached out to her, and then she was ecstatic, super happy I reached out. And now we actually have a call later this evening, right, which would be like 11 p.m. my time, and you know, whatever. She's in Beijing, she's like a day ahead. But the point is, you know, that was a client, you know, she's now one of my coaching clients. And we're going on week 2, week 3, week 2. We're week 2 officially. But I just like hiding under my nose. Like, so because we had that sort of relationship through her reaching out on my Instagram, it wasn't like going cold. There was already some relationship there, but I've been doing it for, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean I have to give you props for that because your Instagram game is really, really strong, and you're very consistent with the content. And I think it's basically virtual real estate because when you're posting and people are engaging and commenting and you see all these people commenting on one of your posts, that just creates like um that increases the probability of conversions, like
Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Oh
So it's pretty much like practice, you're just like you're running these routes every time you're posting content. It's like all these routes that you're running, and then finally when the game day comes, like that's when you make a sale, or like when you score a touchdown during the game, like when someone
yeah.
qualifies them, that
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's like. So that's why I really have to recommend you for like you get definitely should like anyone who's watching this needs to go check out your Instagram because it's very inspiring. It's very consistent, and you give a lot of very valuable information on copywriting. So yeah, if you haven't
At
checked
for sure. At Woke Copy.
at Will Copy, it will be in the description. Everything is gonna be in there. But like, I highly recommend that. Like, I'm trying to like get up to your like levels on the
You
Instagram.
know, as much as I'm flattered, I honestly feel like, well, I try to compare myself, right? Because I mean, everyone's got different goals, and I've only had that page up for a few months. I think
Yeah.
officially 3 months now. So I'm certainly happy with the growth I've experienced in like the community I've built in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly like happy about where it's going, but I still feel like, it's sort of not good enough. Like I'm pretty sure I'm due for a new post today.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't want to ramble on, but I appreciate it, but certainly there's more work to be done, and it's still a
Yeah.
work.
As always, like you start something, you got to do it over again.
Right.
I also like uploaded a YouTube video, and now I'm just like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this over again.
Like you get a high, man. Like I think not my last post, my second to last post. Uh, I put a call to action, and I told people like, "Hey, comment." And so throughout the day, like literally, I was getting so many comments, and I was like, "Damn it!" Like now, because I literally promised everybody that I would respond to every comment. So I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But my secret to Instagram growth or success, which honestly I'm not a master, so please find a real social media strategist, but it's just being genuine and taking the time, like taking the time to like other people's things, taking the time to comment on other people's things, taking the time to respond to people's comments. Like I know Gary Vee, right? Everyone knows
Yeah,
Gary
yeah,
Vee. Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
If you're
And one of the things,
yeah,
yeah,
all
if you don't,
entrepreneurs got to know.
yeah,
If you don't,
at this point, yeah, there are certain people that everyone knows. But one of his rants or posts was about like everyone wants more followers, but you don't engage with the followers you have, right? You want 1,000 followers, but you don't engage with 100 that you have, and so that's kind of my mindset with Instagram. Is just like anything I post, try to bring up, and because again, it's all about starting a conversation. So even for yourself, since I'm on this tangent right now, just if you post something, people won't respond sometimes, that's fine, but eventually they will. You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
that one person will. And social proof is so crazy. One person comments, then the next person comments, and the
yeah,
next person comments. Like you see these examples of copywriting principles in play in so many different, like the social proof and everything. So just put in call to actions, like tell people, hey, comment here, like tell me your story. In actual stories, do the same thing. Like when you do them, like switch it up, but give people call to actions. Try to make them engage, right? Engagement leads to conversation, leads to conversions.
nice. Yeah, definitely. Well, but I think that's gonna be us for our call today. I really appreciate you coming on here and like just dropping all these gems and providing all this value for all of us. So again, make sure you check out Asha Duce at Woke Copy. I also put all of his social media and every like anything that you can contact him on. That will be in the description. But you got any last words for like our beginner copywriters on Seek the Greatness?
Yeah, only last words is just start. Like it doesn't matter, honestly, the very beginning, it doesn't matter what you do, just start somewhere and
Yeah,
then
facts.
it'll go from there.
Yeah,
Seriously.
People should see my first video and and see the
Yo,
growth that I've made. But like, I'm just glad that I started. I was so worried, but like, that is great advice. Definitely start. So yeah, I should
just
just say appreciate you.
appreciate you, boss.
Yeah, let's do this again soon.
We
I'll hit
will.
you. All
All right,
right,
man.
peace.
Peace.